How's everybody doing? You guys are watching Hulk and Tech, and today I'm doing my review on the Nothing CMF Phone 1. I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth because you know what? This is a budget phone. It's super straight to the point and it does what it needs to do. So there's a couple of things I may not like. I'm gonna say them in the video, but overall the experience on this phone is very good. And again, just because you have a $199 budget phone doesn't mean oh you're broke. You know who cares? There's this people outside saying Android suck, this, and that. Again, show them that you have a $199 phone, does a lot of cool stuff, it doesn't break the wallet. If you guys find yourself enjoying this video at any point, hit that like, subscribe. Let's get to the video. Alright, so the first thing I do want to talk about is the camera. It's got a 50 megapixel camera with a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Skip over, it records at 40K, 30 FPS, 1080p, 30 and 60 FPS. For the selfie, you got a 60 megapixel and also records at 1080p by 30 frames per second. So I'm not going to go too crazy for the camera because you're not buying this phone for the camera. And if you are, well, you can look elsewhere. But for $199, it's got a really good camera, and we're going to leave it at that. You're not going to struggle, maybe in low lights, but it's got a great camera. And I'm just going to not waste your time and skip this. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of the gaming. If you love gaming on these phones and for some reason you want to play a graphically intense game, it's not going to do that too well. You have to adjust the settings in your games. Here, this is my favorite game, Seven Deadly Sins games I've been playing for a long time. So this game is pretty graphically intense. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, let's just show you a little bit of a match here. And this is a medium settings, and it does struggle at time to time, but you guys can see it looks pretty good. The sound is off, so just in case anything, it's got music in the background and stuff like that, so the sound is off. But it's able to perform really well. Your CODs, your PUBGs, all that other fancy stuff, I'm gonna do a separate video if you guys are interested, and drop it there. So this got a little gaming hub that you're able to see, you know, your FPS, how it's performing. You can put it to the side or have a little bubble in the corner, so you guys are able to track those things. At the end of the day, the phone is not really meant for gaming, but if that's what you want to do, if you want to do it casually, it'll do a good job. Just keep in mind those graphically intense games, you're going to have to adjust your settings to be able to support those, because it's not meant for that, and it can heat up the phone more than it's supposed to. Now, if you're doing like a 2D game like here, it'll perform those with no issues whatsoever, and you don't have to adjust any settings. So play your 2D games in here. Now, I do want to throw the battery in here. It's got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It's only 33 watt wired charging, 5 watt reverse wired. But at the end of the day, who cares? The battery is so good in this thing. I leave it running all day playing games. I swear, y'all, I'm not on my phone 8 hours a day before someone goes in the comments saying I'm on my phone that long. It's just for testing. But the battery on this phone is one of the best battery lives I've ever had on a phone. I'm not even kidding, y'all. And that's probably mostly because it's got the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 chip in there. But at the end of the day, the battery on this phone is ridiculous. And you're not going to regret buying this phone just for the battery. If you want that to be a buying point to get the phone just because of the battery, you know what? Let's get to it. But also, on top of the battery with that MediaTek 7300, while we have it in here on topic, it performs really well. It does everything you need to. You can multitask. You can watch videos, you can split screen, you can do everything that you can do on any other phone. Now, every now and then there is a slight choppiness in there because it does perform really good, but I'm just saying when I say it's choppiness, there's times where you see a slight lag in there. Despite the beautiful AMOLED 120 Hz display, I'm saying performance is really top notch. Again, the performance on this phone is really much what changed my mind on budget phones, because it just is so smooth. And I think Nothing just make sure to optimize this as best as possible, have it at a cheap price, cheap build, and they just made it possible, which is crazy because I can daily drive this phone if I really wanted to, and I wouldn't have any issues. It wouldn't bother me. So I only got the version with the 6 gigs of RAM too. So it's super impressive what they were able to do. Put it in a small package and deliver something that does a lot. Everything happens to it. You can change the back and all that stuff. But on top of doing all this and performing really well, the phone doesn't get really too hot. Most of the time, it is running about 95 degrees. You might think that's a little too hot, but that's normal for this phone. That's normal for a lot of phones. Between the high 80s, low 90s. I'm outside too when I record these videos, so but the internal temperature on the phone stays pretty cool. Overall, I do recommend this phone a lot for the price range, for your parents as a gift, for yourself if you need a backup phone. I really fell in love with this phone. It's got that really cool silicone polymer back that you call it eco leather, whatever you want to call it. If it gets damaged, you can swap it. It Nothing really sold me on this, and I think you guys should know what it's all about. We're dropping a couple more videos about this phone later. Anyways, thanks for all the support. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, y'all. Take care.